Hi guys, welcome to my video. This is a sped up watercolor painting of Ahri from League of Legends wearing a Naruto sweater because I thought this was super clever since they're both the nine-tailed fox and I'm a huge fan of both. So yeah, sit back and enjoy, maybe grab some paints and paint along with me. So I'm painting on the Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press paper by Legion Paper. It's 100% cotton, acid-free, 300 GSM paper, and the size is 12 inches by 16 inches. And I really like this paper because it's super thick and it holds the watercolor really nicely. It also fits perfectly within my IKEA frames that are 16 by 20. I have a hallway dedicated in my condo to paintings of hot girls. I like to call it my hall of hot grills, and it just consists of IKEA frames and paintings like these. So this is my newest addition to that collection. So here I've already put down the first layer for the skin, and I'm just adding some shadows using a smaller brush and blending out the harsh lines with my clean brush with water. I like to start off with the skin tones since the colors are pretty neutral and it helps me decide how bold I want to go with the clothes on the background and other parts of the painting. So here I'm just adding on different layers to build depth in the different skin tones. This pose is actually based off of an Instagram post that I saw by @weedhead. She's a suicide girl, I believe. When I saw this picture of her, I knew I had to draw it, but I wanted to make it, something a little bit nerdier. So this is Ahri. The watercolors that I'm using are the Mangyo Professional watercolors. They're great. I love them. I use them every day. And they're pretty affordable, so that's pretty great. Here I'm just adding some more details to the face and trying to add more shadows. I usually do so many layers over and over again until I finally get some sort of gradient. I think it's best to go slow when you're adding darker colors because it's really hard to undo that after the fact. So it's best to just gradually build it up slowly until you get the darkness that you want. I'm actually low-key really proud of that hand on that right side there. I find the hands are extremely difficult to draw. I think that's a pretty common theme across lots of artists, but I think that one turned out pretty good. I'm happy with the way it looks. I apologize if this part's a little bit boring to watch, but I really do a ton of layering when it comes to trying to blend out skin tones. And yeah, this is just part of the process. So after many layers, I finally start doing the tails. I'm going in first with a light wash of gray just to have a base for all the tails. And then next I'm adding a second layer just to add a little bit more 3D-ness to the tails. I just kind of put in these swooshy lines to make it look like maybe they're not so smooth. So while that's drying, I go in and add yet another layer to the skin tones, trying to just gradually build up shadows. When I do eyes, I like to make the whites of the eyes not white. So this is a mix of gray and purple. I just think that it looks a little bit nicer than having the stark white. I don't know, just add something a little bit special. I think my favorite part was finally starting to color in the clothes. It's something I wanted to do since the very beginning. And just kidding, I go back to the tails. This time I'm adding some purple because I used purple in the eyes, so I wanted to sort of replicate that in the tails. I'm pretty sure I'm using the same paint mixture to get the same colors as the eyes. This painting took me ages. I did a lot more layering than I normally do, and I added a background. So on one side I'm adding a more red tone purple, and on the other side I'm adding a cooler tone purple. I just thought this was a cool way to make it look more 3D. I really like the way this looks. Also, the purples make the yellowy orange of the clothes stand out really well, so I thought they just complemented each other very nicely. I think I probably spent over 20 hours on this painting, but it was worth it. I love the way this looks on my wall. Her expression didn't turn out the way I intended. She looks a little unimpressed with you, I guess, but I don't know, I'm happy. I like it. It looks fine. It's just kind of funny. Watching back on this, I'm surprised at how many layers I actually put. I'm sure I could have done it a lot faster if it weren't for all that layering. And here I'm finally coloring the sweater. This is my favorite part. It finally filled in that big white gap in the middle. And I love this orange, it's such a beautiful color. So this sweater was dedicated to Naruto. I love Naruto. It's probably one of my favorite stories of all time. So yeah, it's just the Naruto-ish orange with the Village of the Leaf bandana plaque thingy on her sweater. And here I will go in with a million layers to add 3D-ness to the sweater. This is a darker orange with more brown and red in it, and I just added some shadows and sort of crinkles to the sweater. The background is a little bit ambiguous. I sort of envision her sitting on some nice soft sheets or something. It's actually really satisfying to fill in these huge gaps with just like a wash of paint. You don't have to be too careful with it, but it just fills it in and it just looks better to your eyes. Makes you a little bit happier. Oh my god, I didn't realize how many layers. Okay. Back to the So I'm adding the fourth layer of paint to the sweater, and I'm not too delicate about how I add shadows to clothes. I just kind of color in huge sections and leave little blank lines to hint that maybe there are crinkles in the clothes. If I wanted to spend more time on it, I guess I would have actually drawn in crinkles, but it's fine. I didn't want to. I think I'm impressed with my own dedication to how many layers I did for everything. Here I'm coloring in the hair. Ahri normally has black hair, I guess. with her normal design, so I went with black. But a funny thing is, when I drew her, I didn't leave space for her ears because normally her ears are standing up, and um, clearly there wasn't enough space for that, so I kind of just went with a fennec fox style ear and just called it at that. I think it's still super cute though. And then adding in the outlines for the hair. I love adding outlines. It's the one thing that brings the painting together. Portraits just look super weird for a really long time, but once you do that one thing, it really pulls it together. And these outlines, especially around the outlines just really define the face and pulls it all together. I love doing the outlines. I usually use a mixture of black and reddy colors to get really dark maroon. I think that just is a little bit more interesting than just a straight black. And yeah, there's my finished painting. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to check out my Instagram where I post almost all of my artwork and my Etsy shop as well. Links are in the description of the video. And yeah, thanks and have a wonderful day.